All right, so Bleacher Report, another top 100 list. It's been a while since they've done one of these. I have not seen the list myself. I'm not sure if you have either. We're gonna react to it together. The only thing that I've heard about it is the same thing that you have, that Kobe Bryant's not in the top 10 list. So real quickly, I wanted to see exactly what the criteria was. They usually put that in there in their introduction. And this is what it says. It's a comprehensive top 100 NBA players ever ranking, taking into account the totality of each player's NBA career, cumulative and average stats, awards, playoffs, championships, cultural impact, and overall greatness. So right off the bat, not putting Kobe in your top 10 when apparently your career, your stats, your championships, cultural impact, and that's not enough to be in the top 10. See, I'm already doubting that you're really abiding by these guidelines and the criteria that you establish. So I have my doubts. I mean, putting Kobe not in the top 10 is a crime in itself, but we'll see. We'll see together. So number 100, Artis Gilmore. That's fair. The introduction does say NBA career. So that means that they're probably not taking into consideration what he did in the ABA, which is fair. That's what I do as well. If it was for that, he would definitely be higher on the list just because of you take into consideration those two careers, rebounds, and points. He'd be very high in the all-time list. Number 98, Klay Thompson. Man, it seems a little disrespectful. I think he's borderline. I don't think he's top 75, but I think he's one of those honorable mentions as far as is he top 75 and is he not. Plain and simply, the Warriors don't have their dynasty, which this is the last dynasty that we're going to see in a while. They don't dominate the NBA as they did if it wasn't for Klay Thompson. His three-point shooting was a big part of their offense, and Steph Curry benefited so much from Klay Thompson guarding the other team's best perimeter player. 98, fringe top 100? Oh man, I don't know about that. See, 96, Joe Dumars. See, is Joe Dumars' stats staggering? Do they pop out of the page, off the screen? No. But remember, he's coming from the generation where you're playing with so many talented players. You have to sacrifice your numbers for a team like the Bad Boy Pistons to overachieve, to beat Michael Jordan, the Chicago Bulls, to beat Larry Bird and the Boston Celtics, to beat the Showtime Lakers. You got to play a role. You got to sacrifice your number, which is what Isaiah Thomas did, which is what Adrian Dantley was forced to do. He didn't want to do anymore. That's why they traded him. Mark Aguirre comes in, right? So Jordan called him arguably the best defender that he's ever had to face. At number 96, come on. That is not right. Is Draymond Green better than Klay Thompson, though? Is he, though? I thought it was common knowledge that it was Curry, Klay, and then Draymond. Am I missing something here? When did he... Again, valuable player for the Warriors. Again, they don't become the dynasty if it wasn't for Draymond. But to say he was more important to the Warriors, a better player to the Warriors than Klay Thompson was never true. When did this become a reality? Paul George, number 78. So, better than Grant Hill, or greater than Grant Hill, however you want to put it. I guess that's fair. But okay, here's the thing. So, Grant Hill's a Hall of Famer. Are we saying that Paul George is going to be in the Hall of Fame? 6-time All-NBA, 9-time All-Star. Okay, yeah, he is. He is. That's fair. Wherever you put Grant Hill, put Paul George above it. That makes sense. That's fair. Okay. He's not top 75. He definitely shouldn't be top 75. But, right, the cusp, sure. Okay, fine. That makes sense. I get that. Number 77, Pete Maravich. The respect that people have just for his talent, as it should be. Because he didn't accomplish much of anything in his NBA career, especially when it comes to playoff success, never won a playoff series in his career. Only went to the playoffs when he was with the Atlanta Hawks. But just the respect and appreciation that people have for his offensive skill, scoring ability, playmaking ability is off the charts. I'm glad that he's not being forgotten. I'm glad that he's on this list. Number 75, Manu Ginobili. That's fair. I think he's a top 75 player. We're talking about one of the, if you want to call the Spurs a dynasty or not, that's up to you, but one of the most successful teams of the 21st century. Tim Duncan didn't do it alone. David Robinson was past his prime. Injuries played a part of him kind of declining, especially on offense. You got to give respect to Manu Ginobili. And his contributions to that Spurs team. He was more valuable to Tony Parker. I don't think you can have all three of those players in the top 75. Giving a shout out to Ginobili and recognizing just his greatness as far as his individuality. Perfect. I like this. This is good. Chris Bosh is not a top 75 player. No, he's not. He's not. One All-NBA? You kidding me? To me, saying he's better than Chris Webber is completely false. He's not better than Chris Webber. He got the 2 championships because he played with LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. But what did Chris Webber do without all that talent? What did he do? 1 game away from reaching the finals, being the best player on that team. Did Chris Bosh ever do that? When he was leading the Toronto Raptors? Don't have the numbers in front of me, but I believe out of his 04 to 2010, that's 7 seasons, I believe he made the playoffs 2 or 3 times. Definitely wasn't more than 4. That's what he did in the Eastern Conference that, as we know, not very competitive. Dude, Bosh ain't better than Webber. No, sir. And then 70 Wes Unseld, Jesus Christ. This is what they're doing to the 70 stars. MVPs. Dave Cowens is 74. Hal Greer 73. Wes Unseld 70. Champions. MVPs. Playing their role to perfection. Dominating the 70s as far as their success in the playoffs. The number of wins that they had. Were they averaging 25 and 13, 3 blocks per game? Okay, no. Again, when you're playing a role, when you're doing what it takes for your team to win that has a lot of talent, a lot of capable scorers, you have to give importance to that. See, now I see why Bill Simmons did what he did in the book of basketball. Because if it's just stats, yes, was Unseld 70 and Dave Cowens is 74. But when it's what you've contributed to winning, they are top 50 or fringe top 50 at the worst. Kyrie Irving's top 75. Just for talent alone. For talent alone, that makes sense. Dude is one of the greatest offensive talents I've ever seen in basketball history. I'm not mad at that. I can't be mad at that. No, sir. Pau Gasol, 62. Thank you. Thank you. He is a top 75 player. 100%. Thank you. 62 is beautiful. Beautiful. Yes. Carmelo at 60. Let me say something. Melo's my boy. One of my favorite players growing up. God, I was hoping that he played for the Lakers. What was it, 2013, 2014 offseason? If I remember correctly, that's my boy. And so he's above Bob McAdoo, which I think they're kind of similar players, incredibly talented scorers. One of the best scorers of their time and of their generation. McAdoo's a champion. Melo never really got that chance. Never played for a franchise that was close to winning, especially in his prime. I would swap that. I think McAdoo's a greater player, just with accolades, because he won an MVP and Melo never did. I would switch those. But that's fair. I'm glad Melo's getting his respect, because that's my boy. Gary Payne's not top 50. 53 Gary Payton. This is now we're getting stupid. I'm sorry. Now we're getting stupid. Depoy. champion, 9-time All-Star, 9-time All-NBA. You're not in the top 50. You led the Sonics. You didn't lead. You were right there with Sean Kipp in 93, one game away from reaching the finals. 94, you get 64 wins. I know you got bounced from the first round, but being the best team in the league, you're right there, the top player for that. Come on. 96, we know what he did. 98, they win 60 games. Come on. And then 2000, one of the greatest all-around season from a point guard in NBA history. And you're not in the top 50, one of the greatest two-way players at that position in NBA history. This is stupid. This is dumb. No. Who's 52? Dwight Howard was limited offensively. Gary Payton wasn't. He could lead on both ends of the floor. Again, both tremendous defensive players. I see where you're going with this. Okay? I understand the impact that they have on defense. Okay, right up there. One player, you can only go to him on certain situations on offense because not that very talented, right? Just really rely mostly on athleticism. Gary Payton can get you buckets for a point guard. What are we talking about? And then Ray Allen's better than those two. Well, of course he is. No, he's not. Never. Nobody would ever say Ray Allen's better than Gary Payton and Dwight Howard. No one. No. I don't think I have to explain that. Like, do I have to explain why Ray Allen is not better than Gary Payton and Dwight Howard? Seriously? So Jason Kidd at 33. The debate was always Jason Kidd or Gary Payton. Who do you want? He's at 33, and Gary Payton was at, 53? Or 52? Is he that much better, that much greater than Gary Payton? Is that what we're saying? Gary Payton should be right there with Jason Kidd. If you're making a list, and you're like, okay, to make it easier, what I do is these two players were very similar in their accomplishments, what they can do as far as impact for the team. And your pick, Kidd here or Gary Payton there. I think Jason Kidd a little bit greater than Gary Payton, just by not by much. But this gap, 20 spots, makes no sense. John Havlicek at 31. No way. He's that top 20? He's that top 15? Maybe top 15 is a little too generous. I know a lot of people who actually... See, I have respect for the OGs. I have respect for the grandpas of the world because they saw these peoples. They saw them. And there are people from that generation who's like, Hondo's top 10. That's what they're saying. Because 13-time All-Star, 11-time All-NBA, 8-time champion, led his team to 2 titles after Bill Russell left. And he was the best player for the Celtics in 69 and 68. Those 2 titles that they won, he was the guy. Not Bill Russell. It was him. So you could say that he was the best player for 4 titles, and he's number 31. Incredible longevity, incredible versatility, the blueprint for the small forwards that came afterwards, your LeBrons, your Grant Hills of the world, your Scottie Pippens of the world, this is him. Elgin Baylor's not top... This might be more disrespectful than wherever they put Kobe. Kobe might be next. I don't know. This is disrespectful. No, this is blasphemous. How dare they not put him in the top 25? Charles Barkley is not greater than Elgin Baylor. That is not true. That is 100% false. Carmelo's not better than... he's not better. He's not greater than Elgin Baylor. Elgin Baylor is unequivocally the best player to never win a title. That is him. If Bill Russell never existed, if it wasn't for him, if the Lakers had a decent big man, the Lakers win multiple titles. Elgin Baylor was that guy. We're talking about somebody who scored 60 in the finals. Malone is known for missing free throws in the finals. Elgin Baylor is known for giving you 60. That's what he's doing. Moses Malone is not top 20. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. 3-time MVP? Finals MVP? A champion? Arguably the greatest rebounder post-merger. Not arguably, he is the greatest rebounder post-merger. That's not even a debate. And you're not top 20. We're seriously saying that David Robinson is greater than Dr. J. It's not true. It's not true. Guys, it's not true. Ask any player who actually seen both of them play, they would laugh. They would laugh in your face. Like Spider-Man, like Peter Parker's boss, when he asked for, what was it, an advance or a raise, they would laugh like that in your face if you would even suggest that David Robinson is better, greater, whatever phrase, term you want to use, than Dr. J and Moses Malone. And that means 11's Kobe Bryant. So who's 10? Curry. Nah, bro. Nah, that's... So here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. This is... For a very long time, it started with ESPN. Bleacher Report's doing it. All these other sports sites are doing this, where they do top 100 lists, your top 50 list. And I see a lot of people in the comment section, since Kobe died, they start disrespecting him. No, stop it. They've been doing this for over a decade, at the very least, where they do these lists, and the headline is always Kobe Bryant snubbed from the top 10, and then you see Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless. In that era, they're going back and forth if he's top 10. That's how long it's been. It seems like to me that is the formula that works. If you want somebody to click on these articles, to talk about it like we are, and a lot of different channels much bigger than mine are talking about this. They use Kobe Bryant to promote these little lists. That's what they're doing. They're not being honorable. They are not being sincere as far as evaluating these players. They just want you to click on their little article so they can make money. That's all that they want. Because Kobe Bryant is 100% a top 10 player. The debate between former players, their opinions that actually matter, is he top 3? Right? Is Jordan, Kobe, LeBron? That's always the argument. If you want to, for me, the highest you could put him is 8 or 7. Right? But saying he's not top 10, this isn't real. It can't be real. It can't be, because it's always just the media. The players, they never debate this. Because they're being sincere. They're just telling you how they feel. There's no ulterior motive on, well, let's use this guy that a lot of fans are crazy about so we can get clicks. And we can get you talking about this. Wilton 9 is disrespectful too. I mean, Shaq is 6. Dude. I mean, good for Shaq. That's fine. That's fine. I mean, at his peak, Shaq was that guy. 100% was that guy. 5, Bill Russell, thank you. Thank you. Bill Russell should always be in the top 5. Forever and ever and ever. He will be in the top 5. And as long as I'm making videos, I will make sure that message is spread. Magic 4, no problem. 3, Kareem. 2, LeBron. I hope. Okay. 2, LeBron, and number 1, Michael Jordan. Okay. Just putting Kobe at 11 is disrespectful. And it's just like, I know what you're doing. I know what you're trying to do. And we've seen it way too many times, man. Like, use somebody. Can you use somebody else? Like, Kobe's dead, man. Do we got to keep doing this to a deceased person? Seriously. That's the video. Let me know all the stuff you disagreed with and what you agreed with. As always, thanks for watching.